So this week is going to be a very easy recipe. No, this is not the healthiest in the world, but it is a better version than the regular version on if you're like a diabetic or because I am using sugar-free stuff or stuff made with Splenda. You're going to need a bundt pan, which that is my mother's bundt pan. I love it. It works. It doesn't look great, but it's lasted forever. You're going to need a quarter a teaspoon, or I think, or a quarter or a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'll let you know for sure when I start the recipe. And 2 cans of Grand's biscuits. It calls for a half a cup of packed brown sugar. I didn't pack it, and actually that's a third a cup, not a half a cup. I didn't pack it because I'm using the Splenda brand, and you're not supposed to use as much, so I just put it in there loosely. And then it calls for a half a cup of breakfast syrup. I'm using the Walmart just sugar-free brand. Usually I have Aunt Jemima, but I think they were out of the Aunt Jemima sugar-free, so I had picked up the Walmart sugar-free. And 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And so now let's get this sticky buns going. Okay, so for the first thing the recipe calls for, in a small bowl, we're going to add the melted butter and the syrup. So there's the melted butter, which is 3 tablespoons, and a half a cup of syrup. And we're just going to kind of stir it till we combine it. You don't have to be perfect, so there we go. So we got that done. This is to combine the brown sugar and the cinnamon. So I'm just going to leave it in this little bowl here. I don't know if it's messing up another one. And the cinnamon is a half a teaspoon. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm just going to use, I actually is just going to use that little measuring spoon to mix it up in there so it's all mixed up. Okay, so there we go. We got that mixed done. So now it says to place half of the syrup and butter mixture in the bottom of the pan. So we're going to get our pan right here. And we're going to add half of it to the bottom. Okay, so now we got half of that poured into the pan. And it says then sprinkle half of the brown sugar stuff in the bottom. So we're going to sprinkle the brown sugar, half the brown sugar. And I will call that half. Then, okay, so now I went ahead and opened the biscuits off camera because I didn't figure you want to hear a pop. Because I know some people do not like that and it scares some people. So all we're going to do is going to take our biscuits and we're going to kind of stand them up against each other all the way around the pan. I do go ahead and kind of separate mine because I don't want them stuck together. And most of the recipes calls for, if you're using these size biscuits, to do one and a half packages, but I always just use the whole thing. I mean, I'm not going to waste 4 biscuits or cook them different, so, and it's always worked. Like I said, this recipe is very easy. I guess the hardest thing is getting them in there. It's getting them to stand up. You may have to adjust your cooking time when you use the whole thing, but that's okay. We can do that. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got all the biscuits lined up, and now it says top with the remaining syrup. So we're going to just go around and top, make sure I pour it evenly around all of it. So we want all of it to have that sticky goodness. And like I said, this is sugar-free syrup. Now the butter, of course, honestly, when I went to a dietitian, will tell you if you're going to have to use butter in a recipe, do use real butter, don't use the margarine. The margarine stuff is really made up of a bunch of chemicals, and it is not, it's better for you just to go ahead and have the real butter. And then sprinkle the top of it with the rest of the brown sugar and mixture. And like I said, the biscuits, of course, no, this isn't going to be the healthiest meal, but, you know, if you're hungry for something sweet, at least it is kind of diabetic friendly in moderation. You wouldn't want to sit down and eat the whole pan at one time. Okay, and then we got that done. And we're going to bake it 375 degrees. I've already got the oven preheated. It says for 20 to 25 minutes. Since I did use extra biscuits, I'm going to go ahead and put it at 25 minutes, and I will check on it, and we'll see how it goes. And I will be back with you. Okay, look at this yummy goodness. And when I turn it over into this pan, after it cools off for a little bit, all that syrup and stuff will be going down in it. Yes, girlfriends. And boyfriends, I guess. I'll be back. Okay, I got it. I got it transferred. See, Mom's old bundt pan. You just can't beat it. It's been scratched up. I don't know how many things have been cooked in it, but it still comes out. They don't make them like that anymore. So we'll be back with the taste test. Okay, we're getting ready for the taste test. How was it?
Good.
2 bites before it got to cut off the film, so we're doing good. And by the way, it did take the 25 minutes at 375 for the 2 cans of biscuits. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Bye.